Okay, thanks. I'm glad to be here again, and I am Chris Lin, the co-founder and CEO of KKBOX. We're the leading online music subscription platform in the Asia Pacific region. We're currently serving 7 markets in Asia, and we're mainly providing one monthly fee and all-you-can-stream music service. And that's basically what we're doing. And then we're aggressively expanding, and we're deepening our entrance into each of our regions, including Japan.
It's my honor to be here again. So my name is Peter Yen. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Pinkoi.com. So Pinkoi is an online marketplace and community for designer in Asia. So people can come to Pinkoi to buy and sell their design product. Currently, we work with 3,000 indie brand, and they are listing their product on Pinkoi and selling to 10 countries all around the world. And I think the great fun of Pinkoi is we get to mingle with all the designer community and get to see their potential and innovation. And we believe this kind of trend will lead in the lifestyle in Asia.
Let me go first. I think people usually, I guess the investment community usually calls us Spotify of Asia. But in fact, we were actually being on the marketplace before Spotify was out. But I guess that's the most relevant comparison of KKBOX to the Western world. Well, we're competing 100% fiercely in each of the countries that we're in right now. The main differences perhaps would be actually the Asian market is very mobile centric in a way that we focus a lot more of our user experience on originating from the mobile platform instead of originating from the PC platform. That's one of the difference. And the second thing is, I guess in each of the countries that we're in, the most prominent payment method is actually carrier billing, which is actually the main major differences between the Asian countries and the Western world, where the prominent payment method is actually credit card. So these are just two of the main differences in the business environment. And in terms of the product lineup, since we're doing music business, one of the big major thing that's different in Asia is actually in the Western world, the major 3 or 4 labels takes probably over 80% of the market share. But in each countries like Taiwan, Singapore, Malaysia, and in Japan, the indie labels or the local labels are actually the majors. So that's the main difference, and it's very different here and comparing to the Western world. We're doing quite well, I believe, and just for your information, back 3 years ago, Japan's second largest carrier, KDDI, actually acquired a majority stake of KKBOX. So we're now actually operating as a KDDI subsidiary, although we're still headquartered in Taipei and operating quite independently. So I think we will have a strong partnership with KDDI in penetrating the Japanese market. Of course, not to mention that Japan currently is actually the second largest music market in the world. But the Japanese music industry is still quite traditional in a way that it still has a huge packaged CD market. So in a way, in the adaptation of the digital trend, Japan is kind of lagging behind the world. So we're hoping that by being here and by being here more often and talking to the industry people here, we'll find bigger cracks in the marketplace so we can actually excel in this market. I would say that's the only main obstacle that we're trying to overcome. And I believe that this obstacle would gradually be dissolved. They are, I mean, slower than comparing to the music labels outside of Japan, in a way that they're still having a windowed release of their latest songs. Of course, for the Western songs, we're having the latest. But as you know, an all-you-can-eat service like ours, users actually want to come onto the service and actually enjoy all the music they can find. So naturally, if you don't have the latest local music, that is one of the biggest roadblock to the increase of subscribers. So, which also refrain us from putting in bigger marketing dollars, because the more we put in, when customers are coming into our service and they're not satisfied with the content lineup, it might ultimately come back and hurt our brand. So we're being very careful here. And on the other hand, we're doing a radio type service like Pandora with KDDI, which is a carrier branded service. So we're sort of doing a hit and run strategy in Japan in a way that we're helping KDDI to distribute their branded service to their customer. And on the other hand, we're doing a different class of service, just like in a way KKBOX, and we're sort of doing it slower and waiting for the music industry to fully adapt our business model. I would say yes, but the main competition is actually from Rekuchoku, I would say.
Yes, I think in the investment circle, that a lot of people compare Pinkoi service as Exi. So Exi is also an online marketplace and selling handmade stuff. So Exi was founded, I think, started 9 years ago in New York. I think it's the leader of the design marketplace around the world. So Pinkoi was founded like 2 years ago, and the major difference between Pinkoi and Exi is, okay, the first one, Exi only selling handmade, while Pinkoi is selling design. We only selling design, and when we first started, we think if we claim Pinkoi marketplace only selling handmade, it's very hard to market, to address to the market here in Asia, because handmade in Asia doesn't necessarily mean value. I mean, including country in China, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and also Japan. So we started with selling design. So design can be handmade, can be vintage, can be design good that is partially manufactured factory, but as long as it's original design by designer. So that's one difference. The second difference between Exi and Pinkoi is Exi is an open platform. That means everyone, they can go on Exi and they can start listing their goods. And Exi has been working with the problem is there are many bad quality design listed on Exi, and the community of Exi, they are not very happy about that. A lot of people from China, they kind of importing Taobao stuff on Exi, and it's kind of polluting the overall quality. So Pinkoi started when 2 years ago. We think, okay, in Asia we have to be curated. So curated platform, that means every designer, if they ever want to list on Pinkoi, they need to file an application and go through the whole censorship process. So we understand, okay, the design is original. Okay, it's actually made by you, designed by you, and it's definitely from indie design studio. So we maintain the quality for our buyer and also the designer community, because all the best designer, they want to work with the other best designer. They don't want to work with some fake designer. So we want to maintain the quality of the design community. Once we have a great designer community, they can produce great design product, and that will please our community, our market for the buyer. Okay, so design including, it's basically everything in your life, including women bag, accessory, necklace, earring, shoes, and also home decor and stationery. Include everything that you can probably use in your daily life, from morning to the night. Wallpaper, clothing, dress, for men and women, and there are some like custom-made gift that a business card holder. I think it's everything you wear on your body, and everything you use in your office, in your home, in your daily life. No, we're selling the finished product, which is a design product from our designer through our marketplace on Pinkoi. Actually started 9 years ago, and they're only selling handmade. Until recently, last month, they modified their selling policy. They say, hey, we're not going to only selling handmade. They are moving toward to selling design, which is what we thought 2 years ago when we started. So Exi is moving toward to selling design while still keeping handmade as their core competence. But Pinkoi, we think design is a general idea, is a big umbrella, so we can fit handmade, vintage, and design product under the same category. So we are a marketplace in the community, so we have both ends. We have a seller end. Seller is all the indie designer studio. So they are designer. We don't have any manufacturer listed on our platform. We only accept designer and studio. So on the seller side is a designer and indie studio. On the buyer side is more on the general consumer. And currently we have almost 75% they are female and 25% they are male. Okay, the designer they can they can make by themselves. It's handmade. So a designer can handcraft their a bag, like from the very by doing everything by himself. And also the designer can have their design sketch and hand it to a trusted manufacturer, and they will produce the design product. Okay, so Pinkoi currently we're working with 8,000 designers across our platform. So the 8,000 designers, and we empower them to selling their product to 10 countries around the world. So including Taiwan, Hong Kong, major city of China, Beijing, Shanghai, North America, and Japan. And there's a minority from Southeast Asia. So we are, for the next year, the goal is we want to be very strong on mobile, enable mobile experience, and also expand it internationally. So first we'll start from, we already launched our simplified Chinese version last week. So we're trying to get a great designer from mainland, and we want to attract good buyer from mainland China, and then we'll move to Japan. Japan is definitely our target market here in Asia.
Well, it's a beautiful place. I would say it's a mix of, well, with IVS, it's a mix of IT people with something very traditional. It's very interesting. I don't know, I have an impression that the food for IVS is improving every year. That may be one of the big reason I'm coming back every time to Kyoto.
I like the tranquility of Kyoto. Yeah, it's too beautiful. I forgot where I am right now. And I really like there are many historical design shop in Kyoto. So you can find a lot of very good handmade shop on the street. So that's one of the reasons I like that. And I also really enjoy the combination of IVS that brought to Kyoto. I think IVS present a very great opportunity for investor, industrial leader, and also a lot of different talent from the startup and entrepreneur ecosystem. So I like all the great idea when we talking to each other, and all the great opportunity that they can inspire during the whole conference.
Well, adding on, I fully agree with Peter, but adding on what he just said, I think IVS is a great place for people like us to really get to know what's going on in the industry. Especially things are moving so fast, and it is difficult to actually just read from sites like TechCrunch and GigaOM, but having IVS is really to get first-hand contact with people who are in the industry and listen to what they have to say, and this is really important to how we craft our strategy in the future. Well, how would you know how good it is if you don't come? I mean, it's always important, to take the first step out and then come out and meet with the great people in IVS, and you will find out how good it is.
Chris probably already said it loud, very loud. I think, yeah, you need to come around and meet people and talk to them about your idea, how you're gonna do, and listen to them what they are doing for their business. And I think during this kind of mutual idea exchange, you'll get a lot. Do you see any startup scene changes in Taiwan recently?
Well, this is also for the audience to know more about Taiwan, and I don't know what people think of Taiwan as their first impression, but Taiwan, as you know, is one of the biggest international IT hub in a way of designing and manufacturing IT goods. In a way that we're the largest manufacturer of laptops and also motherboards and also phone, knowing Foxconn and everything, all Taiwanese. Taiwan it has been all hardware.
Yes.
And it was practically not much of a software industry, but also hardware. But what we consider as a software industry is actually the IC design.
Yes.
We have with MediaTek. So I think Taiwan is undergoing a transformation from maybe hardware, software into a service industry in a way that what we're doing is kind of representing a new trend for Taiwan. And I guess young people just need to be brave in a way that to take the opportunity and not to, well, I hate to say it, but not to listen to the old people too much, and then just march out and start doing their startups.
Yes. Yeah, I also personally feel very honored that I'm sitting with Chris, because over the past 10 years in Taiwan has been very well known for those kind of hardware manufacturer. We produce low-cost hardware, iPhones, Android phones all around the world, selling to all around the world. But rarely people know about, like, okay, the internet in Taiwan. We don't really find, I mean, if you look at the environment in Taiwan, we couldn't find any internet company that can actually cross the border. I think KKBOX is represent the first one and the leading one that's actually doing this kind of effort. So it's very hard for internet company in the past 10 years to actually come up off the surface. But I think that the whole Taiwan ecosystem is changing, and I really believe that with KKBOX leading the trend, a lot of more young generation entrepreneurs, they're willing to dream big. They're willing to do, when they do their mobile phone, when they do their marketplace, when they do their platform, they're aiming to be a global service. It's not only a local service. So I think that's a very good transformation in Taiwan ecosystem.
Well, one thing is for the Japanese entrepreneurs, actually, you probably don't know how lucky you are to have a big domestic market. I guess Peter and I both hope that we have a big domestic market in cultivating internet business. So in a way that, just in Taiwan, we're getting 1 million subscribers, paying subscribers. But imagine, the Taiwan market size was 10 times or 5 times larger. We're automatically a different scale of company. But in a way, a curse is also a blessing. In a way that we although we're having a smaller domestic market, that forces us to expand outside of Taiwan. So for the Japanese entrepreneurs, although you have a big domestic market, please use that domestic market to grow your business, but do not stop there, and be brave and step outside of Japan.
I also feel the same way, because Pinkoi has been running for 2 years, and we see the revenues grow like fast. But if our market is only in Taiwan and Hong Kong, and on the small city on the Pacific Ring, it doesn't really make sense to make Pinkoi as a cross-border platform. So after 2 years, right now we're aggressively looking for international opportunity already. It's only 2 years, a small company, and we're looking for how to work with the biggest payment company in Alipay in Asia. We already work with them. We signed a contract with them, so we start accept the payment with Alipay. So I think that the mentality is totally different. In Taiwan, we need to be very aggressively to survive. So it's kind of desperate. We want to survive, not only Taiwan market, but also looking at other market to solve the problem they might face with our solution, with our strategy. So I think in Japan, yeah, it's definitely a blessing. You have a so big market. I think Japan is very high GDP, and people have very good sense of lifestyle. I mean, Japan is one of the country that produce a lot of design brand across the world. Uniqlo, Muji, it's so famous. I really, dreaming that every day Pinkoi was started in Japan. So we don't really spend a lot of time educating the market, but really focus on, making a great product and platform.
So, thank you very much.